Cool. So let's take a look at those examples that I've spoken about in the previous tutorial. About that in regard to globbing and the expansion with the wildcards. Let's go ahead and type in ls-l woo question mark dot txt. Question mark will replace a single letter. If I type in ls-l bracket I don't know, fw, let's use those two. This will list all the files whose names begin with either F or W, and they can end with whatever. So file first, and then whatever, and then would. Then we have ls-l bracket, and now we can specify a range of letters. So we can type in EQ. This is just the range that I'm using for God knows what reason. It doesn't matter, you can specify pretty much any range of letters that you want. This means that the file names can begin with either E or Q and any other letters in between them in the alphabet. And this will also be recursive, so it will go into the subfolders. It will go into the folders and list their contents as well. You see, it goes into music and it does a listing. It goes into pictures and does a listing. It goes into public and does a listing, and so on. Let's go ahead and take a look at something more complex, where it will list all the files that start with a certain letter and that have a certain pattern within the file name. If I type in ls-l curly brackets and w wildcard, so all the files that begin with W and they can end with whatever, and then another condition will be the files can begin with whatever, they need to have this pattern in them, and they can end with whatever as well. If I press enter, oh wait, wood has been printed out twice, wood.txt. Why? Well, it matches both conditions here. It has double O and it begins with W. These are two conditions, and therefore it is printed out twice as it matches both of them. Pretty simple. Bash also performs expansion on unquoted command line arguments. Let's go ahead and take a look at the echo commands and see how they illustrate this. How ironic that I should repeat echo commands twice. So if I type in echo and an asterisk, you will see it will actually list out the files in a very strange order. Basically, it will print out all the files onto the screen. But if I type in echo and W wildcard, it will only print out the file names. It will only print out the files whose file names begin with W. Again, I can do the same thing as with ls. I can just type in echo woo question mark dot txt. It will actually print out wood.txt because it will replace only one character within the wood. Keep in mind that also in Bash, certain modifications are allowed to special character. You should keep in mind that Bash allows modifications to special characters in globbing. For example, set --f command will disable globbing, and shopt command with no case glob and null glob option affect globbing behavior. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example to figure out what I've just said. Basically, we can minimize this, and I'm going to go ahead and clean this script up and have a look. Okay, that took a while. If I type in 4, and I don't know, we shall use some sort of a file variable. So file like this, in, and then a wildcard, do ls-a all l long space quote mark file quote mark, and if we type in shopt -s null glob, done. Looks rather weird, but what can we do about it? No big deal. So first of all, this is a file name expansion. This will be the beginning of the loop, and look, it will match every file name in the current directory, the asterisk sign, but In globbing, asterisk sign does not match dot files. What are the dot files? Have you ever seen the dot files? Well, let me show some to you. ls-la. There you go. You have the dot files: .local, .mozilla, .pki, .ssh. They're usually not listed in the normal way of listing. You do need the LA or the AL option. I usually type it in as well, I like to change this and type it into LA. I don't know why, but just a standardized way of noting it, I suppose. And then we come to the end of the loop file. We have the asterisk here that I was talking about, just so you know. Anyway, we can now go ahead and run this and see what will happen. It's a fairly short one. So let's go ahead and run it. Oh, wait, right. Sorry for my mistake. I need to type this in, write it. Excellent. First .sh, enter. Ooh, this is a pretty long listing. You see there are a lot of files here. But just as there were a lot of files up here when I did the LA option, so too there are a lot of files here as we went through the for loop and and we've given a long listing. So let's take a look at the script just one more time quickly. You have the asterisk sign here, so it matches every file name in the current directory. But keep in mind that in globbing, it does not match the dot files. So it will not include the dot files that I've shown you a moment ago. To include the dot files, you need to set the null glob option, which we have actually set down below with shopt-s null glob. If you want to learn more about these commands, just use the man pages, type in man and type in the name, and a lot of things will be written out there. Also, you have the info pages, which I have mentioned before. Anyway, in terms of regular expressions and globbing, that should be pretty much it. But we will, I didn't want to make this chapter too long, primarily because we will use these things extensively in the scripts which are to come anyway. So you will see a lot of examples there anyway. Here I just wanted to go a little bit in general in terms of what the globbing is and what the regular expressions are, how to use them, what does it actually look like, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I bid you all farewell and hope to see you in the follow-up tutorial.